What's up again, viewers? Brian here at 3TR, and I decided to do just a little video right before I get my hands on my copy of Resident Evil 6, which, hasn't come in yet. I just kind of want to do a little video kind of giving my thoughts or predictions or ideas of what they could do for Resident Evil 7 should Capcom announce it. I did recently just beat Resident Evil 5, I don't know, again for like, I don't know how many times I've beaten it, and I have beaten the demo, all 3 campaigns, any number of times. So I'm fully prepared to play Resident Evil 6 on its hardest difficulty. And I don't know, maybe after I beat it the first time solo, maybe I'll ask one of you guys if you guys want to play it with me. Maybe there's some trophies that require, I don't know, co-op, gameplay or something. But back onto Resident Evil 7, I just kind of wanted to throw some ideas out there of what I think they could do with 7 and what characters should show up or what the storylines could be about. Now, in terms of stories, I think that they definitely should stick to what they're doing with Resident Evil 6 with these multiple campaigns. Because what this allows us to do is allows us to experience kind of different forms of you get a different feel for the game with the same game mechanics. And I think that's a major plus that they've done in 6, depending on what I've played it in the demo. And I think that they could definitely do that again in the next game. However, this time around, I would make 2 or maybe 3 campaigns, have one be a definite co-op campaign, and then have another be just a solo campaign. And for the co-op campaign, I'd actually like to see a team up of, just stick with me here, Jill and Sheva. Now, the reason I'd like to team up Jill and Sheva is because both of them are members of the BSAA, and I really wouldn't want to see Chris again, because Chris has been in 3 consecutive games. He's been in 5, Revelations, and 6. So, I mean, unless he gets killed in 6, I don't know, which is unlikely. So it's definitely possible for them to team up because they both work for the same organization, and we're not sure how they choose who partners up with who in their world, but having them team up, take on a situation is believable. And we've never seen 2 girls team up in the Resident Evil franchise. We've seen usually either 2 guys team up or a girl and a guy team up. We've never seen 2 girls team up, so that would definitely be an interesting change. I don't think it's gonna girly up Resident Evil anyway, kind of like what they did with Final Fantasy X-2, how they add all-girl characters. No, I don't think it's going to happen at all, because these are 2 very formidable Resident Evil characters, and they both have held their own, and although Sheva is rather new, the fact that she kind of has a score of, on her record of killing Wesker, and kind of, in my opinion, kind of aiding Chris, and kind of being a better team to take on Wesker than Chris and Jill were, I think definitely gives her enough respect to at least come back in this franchise one more time, maybe take on one more mission or so. And for another return we could see is maybe see Claire. We have not seen Claire since Code Veronica in Degeneration, but the thing with Claire, something they stated in Degeneration, is that she's really not much of a fighter. She's kind of a survivor, so she's probably the type of character who just so happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, as opposed to everyone else, as in they actually take the fight to these bioterrorist, operations or outbreaks. Claire just happens to be right in the middle. So the idea of having another outbreak is kind of going back to how it was in the original Resident Evils, how, you just happen to be in a bad situation, you weren't looking for trouble. If they decide to do another campaign like that, I think that older fans would definitely appreciate that. But I would definitely like to see it be a straight-up single-player Claire only, and that's kind of reminiscent of Resident Evil 2. But another character I would also like to see a solo campaign done with is actually Jake from Resident Evil 6. I really think that his connection to Wesker could make for a really interesting campaign, because I'm not sure if this is a spoiler. This is just some information I've read on other websites about Resident Evil 6. But apparently there's a clone of Ada somewhere in this game. So I know this is kind of stepping away from horror, and we're definitely going to science fiction. But the fact that they are now considering cloning, it's possible that Wesker could make some kind of return somehow, perhaps. And to see a confrontation between Jake and Wesker, have a father-son kind of confrontation, I think would be a real interesting twist in the Resident Evil franchise. I mean, who would like to see kind of a fist fight between Jake and Wesker, since Jake is definitely a very good hand-to-hand combat kind of person. Although he's very good with guns, it's definitely a lot more fun, or at least during the demo when I was doing hand-to-hand combat. So I think that would make a very good, interesting story. And for the campaign story, again, it would probably be another incident where some bioterrorists are using BOWs, and maybe Sheva and Jill are sent out to handle the situation. And if they do it in 7, I think that's the last time I would like to see the BSA have like a major part in it, because as far as I can tell, that's really all the BSA do. I mean, that's kind of why they're called the Bioterror Security, you know, Alliance, whatever. But that's really all they do. It's like BOWs are unleashed, and the BSA AA come in to handle it. And I think they get kind of old, kind of how the whole idea of having constant outbreaks of the T virus in certain locations got a little old in the older games. And I know there's some old school fans who want that to come back, but I just think that kind of idea would not hold up very well today, especially since zombies are being put in everything. So I don't know, if they did do that, then they definitely would kill any possible chance of having any form of horror aspect come back from the old school games. And that's really all I have to say in terms of campaign. And I don't know, I don't know, what time is it? Let me check the clock. 7 minutes. So this is just a little video I put out. I know it's not very good, but what are your guys' ideas? What would you like to see? Which characters would you guys like to see done in Resident Evil 7 if they make it, or what storylines would you like to see done? I'd like to know, so please comment them down below. And if you like this little side video to get ready for Resident Evil 6, please like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep track of my future videos. And like always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.